Okay, thank you. Okay, well, so again, thank you very much for having us. We will shortly go through the Biogate and present current situation about Biogate. Biogate is a health technologies company. We are focusing on four major segments. First of all, medical technology. Um, these are ultra thin coatings for implants. Then the pet care and veterinary industry, dermatological cosmetics and wound care for the human area, as well as the industry and hygiene. Um, we address these segments with different platform technologies that we own, we developed, and out of these technologies, we develop some applications or products together with our customers. So we are in the B2B market, so we work with leaders in each of their segments. I will quickly go then to each of the segments, but first of all, short overview about the current shareholder structure. So we are in MXS listed open market. Our shareholder structure is currently around 38% owing Sintos Beteiligungs GmbH, which is one of the seed investors and long-term investor of the company, very also committed. Um, then we have around 37% of free float. Then IIF Investment Group, also long-term private equity and with different funds invested at Biogate with around 10.6 million and also nearly 10% Mr. Richter and Richter Family Holding, which was the former long-term CEO and current chairman of the board. Management owns around 3.6%. If we now move on to the different segments, to start with the medical technology for coatings, the major driver is here clearly demography. With an aging population, more operations are needed. However, hardly new antibiotics are brought onto the market. This leads to more infections with multi-resistant germs and obviously cost higher costs and death. WHO states that around 700,000 deaths annually are related to antibiotic resistance, and by 2025, around 10 million deaths with immense costs will occur. A newly published study from Norway also see around or reports around 39 million deaths directly related to antibiotic resistant germs. And with our coating technology, High Protect, we have a solution for that. If we look to the market where we are, clearly we are targeting the medical tech market with a growth rate of 5%. And out of this over 500 billion market, we are focusing on the orthopedics market, which is nearly 38 billion US dollars and the growth rate nearly to 8%. The medical coatings is growing around 11%. And if we now narrow the orthopedic markets, we are focusing in the current projects mainly on the hip and knee operations, orthopedics. And you see here the very massive growth rates projected for the year and decades to come. These figures are only US or North America. However, in the medtech market, implant market, the North American market is around 50% of the world market. And if we look at the infection rates in these specific orthopedic surgeries, in the primary surgery we have 3%, but you see on the right side, the primary sector is obviously the very large sector, and even with a very strong growth rates for the next decades, more than 4 and 5 fold compared to right this year. In the revision surgeries, we have infection rates of over 16%, and multiple revision surgeries if an implant had complications or infections and had to be removed as a new one, we have infection rates of even 50%. Now, again, HyProtect with our coating, we have a solution for that, which is also proved. We have worldwide so-called single cases. Over 170 patients worldwide are already having an implant with a BioGate coating, a HyProtect coating, and we did not only coat orthopedic implants, but also trauma or spinal. So a very broad range of areas that we can coat, also different materials. We are not dependent on the different surfaces or materials. And all these 170 patients were, very successful with no complications, only 4 confirmed reinfections, which represents an infection rate of 2.45%. And if we compare it then without HyProtect coating, a hip revision, we see infection rates between 11 to 13%. And knee revisions, the range of the infections are 13 to 16, and as also mentioned, multiple revisions even over 50%. So this is a massive positive effect and success. And again, this data is obviously also very important for us. And all the publications, we have over 14 cases and 7 peer-reviewed publications, which is also very important for us and for our customers in terms of putting the technology into the market. If we look now on our projects, unfortunately, we cannot name all the customers due to NDAs, but one customer, one project we are allowed to mention. This is with the B. Braun Esculap. And we are working with a hip and knee revision implants. First of all, we are focusing on the hip revision. We are on the approval process, is ongoing, and we will start this year already with the first patient for the clinical phase, and afterwards it's obviously aimed to work with the customer on the contract coating and license. A different or a second implant manufacturer, also international, a big player in the joint replacement. We have also 2 years ago signed a development agreement, and there we are focusing more on the North American approval, and the process is ongoing. And the third one, we start an infection study or an animal study next year. We have now the contract signed, and we'll start next year with the implant. In the HyProtect coating area, antimicrobial coating for implants, we are targeting since quite some years also the veterinary area. And this market is growing about over 6.5%, and mainly in North America is the market. So our customers are sending us the implants to Nuremberg, to Bremen, where is sorry, not to Nuremberg, to Bremen, where is our coating facility, and we are coating, packaging, and send it back to the customers, but also to Europe. So in this area, as mentioned, we are already in the job coating. We are producing since over 6 years, and so far we have coated well over 175,000 implants. And you have to see in this type of implants and surgeries, usual infection rates are about 15%, and some surgeons and clinics report even higher than 20%. And with this 175, we have a infection rate below 1%, which is again also, if we transfer it to the human side, massive success. In the veterinary area, we are working also with our other technologies, like, for example, microsilver, which is also an antibacterial agent. And we are working on the dermatological and wound care sector. And here we develop and also manufacture different products. Especially in the last 5 to 6 years, we start here to build this segment massively, and we more than tenfold the products developed and manufactured by us in the recent 5 years. And these products are target in the yeah, um, specialized area, like veterinarians and clinics, um, via, for example, Vet Innovations, which is one of our brands in Germany and Austria, Switzerland, and some other European countries, and also with other brands targeting to the specialized industry, also in North America, also via distributors. This is one of the focus. Also short term, we will talk about this later, but we see here definitely further grow and very good momentum. Also, as mentioned, in North America, we are with a long-standing sales partner, and we increasingly growth with new partners, distributors, but also with more products. Yeah. Eh, We are also in North America, but also in Europe, represented with all the major um, change, pet specialized chains, and working with them on developing innovative and special products, dermatological products, skincare products, and also hygiene products, and for small animals, but also horse and horse care, and so on. So we are in Germany and in Europe, working mainly with Fresnaf, Plus, but also some other specialized brand manufacturers, and but also in North America, the products are sold via um, from our partners via PetSmart and all the biggest change. So this is a very important segment and growth segment where we are developing the last couple of years, and we will continue in this field growing also. Even if we saw after post-COVID slowing down a bit the growth in this segment. But we believe that we can still have a substantial growth here yeah, also in Europe, in North America, in some of the Asian markets. So we are working here. Okay. If we look at the dermatological wound care market for humans, so the growth driver obviously is the global market for consumer health, with about 7% per annum. And we have here also not only medical products or um, um, yeah, mainly the self-medication and prevention and wellness, so products that are also available in pharmacies and retail stores, but always targeting this global health and wellness prevention market, which is for us very interesting because then we don't have this registration and yeah, high costs to register the medical product. Um, we work here also with major brands and big players. For example, for products for the pharmacy, we have here Stada as one of our key customers, with Multilin Silver, but also we developed last year Mobilat CBD gel. These products are developed, tested, and also manufactured by us. And but also in the medical skincare product area, which are sold in retail stores, for example, in different European countries, like the SOS brand, which are sold also in drugstores and retail, as mentioned. Here we continuously also targeting the internationalization. We did good progress in the last couple of years, and we will continue to also invest in the internalization of these product concepts and technologies outside Germany and German-speaking countries. If we now look at the area of industry and hygiene, we have here also different antibacterial technologies and a new platform technology that we invested some years ago is the so-called IMC, yeah, intelligent multifunctional coding. And these allow us to code and to approach different customers for yeah, different coatings. Yeah, not only the antimicrobial, antiviral coating on surfaces, which not necessarily are medical devices, but all kind of surfaces, at that the coating is permanent or for at least many months and years. So we have here the big flexibility, but also we have developed some other different coatings or developing different coatings like different colors and yeah, functionality like hydrophobic, hydrophilic, um, or yeah, DLC, surface durability, etc., etc. And in the next slide, you will see um, some examples, like for example, surgical instruments, so that we can code this with the different code colors. Right now, these are marking were made of silicon. You see these instruments with the different silicon markers. And the issue here is that the silicon is, after some cycles of steam sterilization, they broke, and so it's a problem and difficulty to continue with that. And we have a coating or color coating, which is also permanent and can resist over 400 steam sterilization cycles. Just to give you an idea, this project is not yet on the market, but to give you an indication in these surface and instruments, but also knife. We have very interesting projects also in the coating, gold coating or also color coating for different type of instruments also in the consumer area. Another example is, for example, QR codes or UDI, unique device identifications, um, or the QR codes for augmented reality in the medical field, which these QR codes need to be very precise, coded, and very small, 5 nanometer. And so this codes we are working on this type of projects as well. But again, this is one technology that we invested. Yes, Thomas, if you can move the next slide, and you see the turnover last year and the growth rates within this year and outlook. And the medical technology is obviously in the long run for us a strategic, very interesting um, area. However, short and midterm, it's still um, not that net high from the share of the turnover. Um, then the veterinary field, we grew in the last years very interestingly, very good. And even it slowed down a little bit after COVID, after this price shocks and high price in the consumer area. We see continuously growth. We have new markets and new customers, and here we are confident also in the mid and long term to keep growing. The same also in the dermatological and wound care. Even in on the short time is growth, but quite moderate. But on the midterm and long run, we also see definitely growth. Um, Industry and hygiene, as mentioned, we are here. We invested in this platform technology. We are on a very good way to develop these new, coating technologies, these new coating projects. However, on a short term, it's something that we don't see the financial impact yet. After next year and the years after is definitely one area that we see uh, a big growth here. I see that we are quite yeah uh, cautious, but we can definitely also be confident that the growth also in the mid and long term would be much higher. And the testing service is own company, which is for us also strategically important because it helps us internally in terms of time to market for development. Um, but also obviously as a profit centers, also targeting external customers for biological tests, and also very um, mid-term and short-term a good growth. The half year's figures, we grew the sales to 3.5 million with results of -1 million approximately. And yes, if we look at the second half, we will continue work on the working capital, reduce loss. And if you can move to the next slide, please, Thomas. Yeah, you see here the whole year, fiscal year. So we will improve significantly turnover and further reduce loss. Um, and this is basically, and you see also in the figures, the last 2 years we invested having not only in the capacity of laboratory and development, but also in the manufacturing production. First of all, in the manufacturing production of the new technology, but also in the filling and manufacturing capacity for dermatological and skincare products for human and vet care, because we see here investing in the value chain, it makes us less dependent on third parties, and all the IP and know-how that we develop, it's in-house, and so we are very confident that we can yeah, reduce the loss um, in the second half year further, and also next year significantly. The balance sheet, we have an equity ratio of 53%, and one of our aims this second half year also to further work on working capital and reduce inventory, which also obviously would help us in a cash situation. From the long-term growth strategy, we will continue focusing on these four areas and further expand our product and technology range, which we did in the last couple of years, very, very good. And we see massive potential in all the four areas. We accelerate internalization. We are already in contact. We have the partners, and this is basically where we have to continuously im focusing and implementation, and further growth with current and also new customers. The synergies within the business areas, in the development, in the manufacturing, this is something that we are using and we will also continuously using. This is basically the summary for this year. And as mentioned, the second half will be also focusing very strong on the reduction of inventories and working capital, and further increase the sales and profit. The medical technology on the human project, and one major project, as mentioned, is the start of the clinical phase with the Esculap and Bebron implants. So, thank you very much. I think this was the presentation.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
presentation. We just have 1 minute left, so
Okay.
basically just one last question. So can you maybe shortly elaborate on your internationalization strategy, and how do you address the American market?
Yes. Okay. Obviously, in all basic the sectors, we have partners in North America. We see a very quick and fast development, also especially in the veterinary areas. We have a new partner in Mexico. We have a distributor or different distributors in the US. Also some brand companies which are with the products they are selling to the major stores, which is very important for us. So it's gaining momentum, and yeah, I think also in the other uh, segments we will continue with our partners.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much. Time's
thank
up.
you. Yep, thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.